Hi there. In this video, we'll be covering how to hire a ghostwriter. Paying attention to the tips in this video will help you save lots of time and money, so you want to pay attention to this video. By the end of this video, you'll find out where to find book ghostwriters, how to make sure the partnership is a good fit, and setting up your financial arrangement in a way that's fair to both parties. And stay tuned till the end of the video for a free gift. Let's dive in. So you're writing a book and you need some help. That's really what a book ghostwriter does. They help guide the writing process, they help guide the writing forward, and hopefully get the draft from ideation to draft phase on forward. It's such a neat process. I myself have ghostwritten 25 books at this point on a wide range of topics, and each project is new and unique and different. And you know, a lot of times I feel like, I don't know if you've seen the movie The Matrix, but there's a scene in the first Matrix movie where Neo, played by Keanu Reeves, is getting plugged into a port in his neck, and he learns Kung Fu, and he says, "I know Kung Fu." I feel like book ghostwriting is kind of like that, where every time I get this new education on something different and get to connect with awesome, unique people, and it's just such a neat process. There are multiple places you can go to find good ghostwriters. Some of the ones that stand out to me are LinkedIn, Association of Ghostwriters, which is a group I belong to. Readsy's a place to go to find ghostwriters. Another place to check out is a group that I started with a friend of mine, Isabella Talbot, called Book This. It's a monthly chat that we have with book ghostwriters and coaches. You can go to bookthistalk.com for more information on that. It's a great place to connect with book ghostwriters and learn more about the ghostwriting process. When hiring a ghostwriter, you need to do your due diligence. It's not enough just to say, oh, their resume looks good. One of the best ways that I found to connect with new leads and opportunities is through my network. And that's through specifically previous clients of mine who I've worked on with books or articles. It's so powerful to be able to connect with someone and they already have an understanding of how you operate, how you approach the writing process, what your system looks like, you know, and it's just an easier road to be able to navigate that together. But that's not always the case. You might be going in cold and you might not know anybody who is a book ghostwriter or nobody in your network who can connect you with a book ghostwriter. So then you have to start looking at these other outside places. And again, resume by itself is not going to get you there. You could have somebody with a stellar resume who's not going to write the book that you want and isn't going to collaborate the way you want them to. So there really needs to be that next level of understanding. You know, when you hire somebody to work with you, whether it's through your company, whether it's a babysitter to watch your kids, what do? You talk to them, you meet with them, you see if there's a good fit or a good understanding. I feel that those client calls, those phone calls, those introductory calls before the project even kicks off, before contract's signed, the get to know you phase. It's so crucial for a project's success to be able to find yourself on the same page as the person you're working with. And there's times where I've had those conversations and it was clear from the beginning that it wasn't a good fit. And that's okay. You know, sometimes you might not bring the right experience to the table. I remember early in my ghostwriting career, I was up for a project, and this was when I was working through different firms and trying to get deals in place. And I had a call with the client, and I had spent hours researching their career and their life, and I really felt ready to have the conversation. And we got on the call, and the first thing that the potential client asked me was, how do you see my book fitting in this space in publishing? What other books are comparable to it? And I had no idea. I had no answer for them. I immediately realized I wasn't the right fit for this book and that they were looking for somebody who had more experience in that field. If I had that conversation today, it would have gone much differently because I would have already reviewed comparable titles before the call. But I didn't do that then. So it was a missed opportunity by me. It was not a great fit, and it didn't work out because I ended up not getting that deal. A lot of other times you'll get on the phone or a Zoom call and just immediately feel like it's a warm friend, like an old friend, just a warm connection. It's the best feeling. When that happens, oh my gosh, you can't even equate it to anything. You know, you hit the ground running, you feel like you're in sync, you're on the same page, on the same wavelength. They're buying what you're selling, you're buying what they're selling. It's such an important give and take to be able to have that conversation. And it really empowers the steps forward. It builds trust. This relationship, this ghostwriter-author relationship is built on trust, and you need to be able to build it right from the get-go and understand that there's a connection here that you're both on the same page. The other reality to keep in mind when reviewing samples of somebody's work or other books they've worked on is you don't know who else worked on the book and you don't know how much work they did to get the book together. You have no idea. There's a level of trust that goes into book ghostwriting and working with a book ghostwriter. And a lot of times when someone has collaborated on a book, they might not be lying about their involvement, but the final outcome, what you're reading, might not be what they wrote. It might not be what they ghost wrote. It might be an early version and you're seeing the final product. So that's why those get to know you phone calls, those testing each other out phone calls are so valuable because you really don't know, and this is a big leap of faith. You know, at times I've been asked to provide writing samples as well for a specific project, you know, see if somebody can write something about blank, whatever the case may be. I've seen those be valuable at some points and not valuable at other points because I think, again, it really always relies on what you can do. You know, it's really what you can do with the story. And you could fudge your way, you could use AI, you could do other things to sound good when you're trying out for the project. But when you actually have the project, you need to be able to deliver as a ghostwriter. I think it's important to see that the culture fit is right between you. And from an author perspective, there's only so much that you can do to understand how good the writer is until they're actually in the seat, until they're actually doing the job. One thing you can do to cover yourself as you begin working with a ghostwriter is to set up a contract system that ensures that the ghostwriter is providing high quality work to you, that high quality work follows milestone payments, that they are meeting goals and they are getting money based on the work that they've accomplished. I've seen projects suffer when they're focused on word count goals because word count goals don't reflect quality. A lot of times a lower word count book could be a higher quality because the ghostwriter is spending more time to get it right. You know, if you're just word dumping into a chapter to hit word count goals so you can get paid the milestone payment that you want to make, it means that you're really not giving the strongest focus on the best writing possible. You're focused on hitting word count goals. And for different books, different word counts are important. You know, you don't want to just pad a book with words just to say you wrote a 60 or 70,000 word book. You want to have the most impactful book possible in the word count given. You want to use the necessary word count to get to the point where you can tell the full story. That's it. You know, and when you fashion payment structures around word counts, it could diminish the quality of the book. At the same token, you know, as a ghostwriter, nothing bothers me more than doing great work and not getting paid for it, you know, which has happened to me. So now I have a really good system in place of milestones and payments where we might break out the entire scope of the project into 5 different payments based on milestones, and I'll get paid based on hitting a milestone, and then I don't continue work until I get paid. So the work stops until I get paid, then we continue on. It's a great process, and it really builds trust. Again, trust, it really comes down to trust, this whole relationship. Trust that you're both operating in good faith, you know, trust that the ghostwriter is providing high quality work, trust that the payments are coming in time. That back and forth trust is going to pay huge dividends as the project continues moving forward. You know, this topic really makes me think about one of my clients and the issues that he faced before working with me. You know, before working with me, he worked with another ghostwriter who had a huge upfront payment and really wasn't delivering. The words didn't sound like him. The words weren't quite right. The chapters weren't coming together. And he ended up signing up to work with me. And we set clear goals up front. We set milestone expectations. We set parameters. You know, he kind of was wary going into the project. And it's always tough when you go into a project with distrust, that there's distrust because of the person who hurt them before, that someone let them down and now they're not as trusting with you. But it made me work that much harder to build that trust. And thankfully, you know, we've been working together for 2-3 years now, and it's just a great relationship and a great partnership, and I love that. You know, I think it's the power of what this can be, that book ghostwriting can build into something bigger. Doing your due diligence on the front end can really help to build a foundation that can really take off as you begin working with your ghostwriter. All right, now that you've learned all about hiring a ghostwriter, I wanted to invite you to a free opportunity. I recorded a course with a collaborator and friend of mine, Nate Woodbury, talks all about the writing and ghostwriting and publishing process from both sides of the equation, from the author equation and the ghostwriter equation. The course is called Good Book Blueprint. Head to goodbookblueprint.com, just click the link below, and you can learn all about the process, the ins and outs, the pain points, the struggles, and the opportunities that it can exist with book ghostwriting. Remember, good ghostwriting makes great books. I'm Dan Good. Thanks for watching.